Hi there, this is Tracy Malone, and today we are going to talk about something really exciting for you to heal. So, if you are like me, then when you are in recovery, the stories in your head from the narcissist like ruminate and just keep coming back and coming back for answers, and you don't understand how to get rid of them. My opinion is they are coming back because you haven't processed them, and they can't be put to sleep because there's still questions. And this is the important part of why people come to see me, right? They come for me as a coach to come and connect the dots between the memory that they're describing on camera and what they're struggling with, and tying that with validation to what exactly happened, why it was so upsetting. They just know what happened. They didn't necessarily know that, oh, if I look at it really more closely, that was gaslighting, and then they lied, and then they did this, and I reacted this way, and it felt like this, and all of these things put that memory together in a nice little package so that you can indeed process it and release it. So as I was looking for a tool to develop for my clients, I built something that is such a powerful, exciting thing. I was not processing my memories. I was reliving them. Over and over, they would come. We all have stories, but narc stories are different. Let's be clear. Your story of your childhood, if it wasn't with a narc parent, had XYZ happened. We have chapters in our life from our teenage years and our childhood and our college days and our next level and our next level. A narcissistic story, a narcissistic chapter, if you would, comes with 3 chapters, if you think about it. Even if it is a narcissistic parent, these are not linear. It's not like 1, 2, 3, we're done, right? Idealize, devalue, discard are the stages that you go through. The behaviors that you get during those stages are completely different. So let's use it as an example of a relationship. If you think about it, when you were in a relationship with a narcissist in the beginning, the love bombing stage, the idealized stage is wonderful. You never felt so loved. You felt like you finally met your soulmate. There was some connection that was better than it had ever been. The stories there of generosity and kindness and just pure love, right? Then comes the next stage where suddenly you're not doing things right. The devalue stage, you are not doing things right. Maybe you didn't load the dishwasher. Maybe you didn't put the toilet seat down. Whatever it is, they start to pick. Things aren't right. You are starting the drip of you're not good enough. And what that does when we are in that and we're being devalued, when we were so high on the pedestal, right? We're being devalued. And what happens is we go, oh, I didn't know I was doing that. Let me fix that for you. Let me change. Let me not ever looking at what they're saying is true or not true. We internalize it. That's why we were selected. We're people pleasing, codependent, giving, loving, caring people. And so we try harder, and they get more from us than they were getting as it started to enter that devalue stage. And then, as you all know, if you've been through a narcissistic relationship, the last stage is the discard stage, and it's crazy, 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 crazy stuff happens in this stage. And that's where all of the sort of explaining happens. But it also, you had drips along the way that of things and events that happened you just didn't have the words for. So we moved into the discard stage. Now, if you're still with your narcissist or it's a family thing, the discard could just be that they ghost you, they don't talk to you. It doesn't have to be heads off, you're gone, right? And then it goes back into the discard, or they start to like you again. It is ever evolving. We have to always remember. And so I'm going to show you my new toy, my new project. This is my story of divorcing, or my story of narcissistic abuse, tracking my journey through the crazy. And it's not my story, it's your story. And I broke it down. Look, idealize, devalue, discard. 3 sections for you to pull out specific memories and process them. It is such a powerful tool. It's got sort of the language of each stage. So in the ideal stage, you might have heard like, no one's ever been this good to me, or, I've always dreamt of someone as perfect as you. Then we'll see some common behaviors. So what you're able to do as you journal about whatever happened in that particular memory event, if you would, is then what tactics were used. Oh, love bombing would have been one of them. Rushing intimacy would have been another one. Soulmate, here we go, right? Then we have other things that help us identify how it felt to be in that stage, right? How did it feel when we were in that stage? Well, if you're in love bombing, it felt pretty darn good. But then we have questions, and then we have ways for you to process, like, sort of prompts, if you would. This is the same thing when we get into the devalue stage. This is the confusion, right? And they're not communicating the same. If you start to put the dots together with a memory in its proper place, you are building the story and you're able to process everything about the relationship, if you would. And this, again, could be certainly for parents. It doesn't have to be just for a relationship of love interest, right? It changes over time, and you've got to record it, right? The memories, the tactics that were used, the feelings, you've got to connect these things. So what is your story? And are you willing to do the work to process it? I'm going to make another video in a little while because I started one of these books. This is not even for my relationship. I started it for processing these memories about my in-laws. And I'm going to share that next with you, because the processing of each memory is so powerful because it releases us from shame. These journals are not meant to rehash and bring up stuff. It's meant for you to process it and put it on the shelf as completed and done and filed. That's the power of this journal. And I can't wait for you to see it. So I made 2 covers because I know not everybody's in the love thing, but I made 2 covers, and it's the same inside, but gives you the opportunity to just keep on writing and keep on building that story. So you can find these on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And I am excited. I'll put a link down below, but debugging and demystifying your story is what you pay a therapist to do. But that's only an hour a week. What if you could process stuff as it comes along? In the book I started for my in-laws, before I actually wrote a single word about a specific event, I just went, oh my God, what about that process? Process that, what about this? And I went back and started to take each one of them. So as you get an idea of a memory that's maybe ruminating, stuck in your head, this is the time we just go and we write it down. We go, when I have time, I will process that memory. It's a great tool. And I'm so glad to bring this to you and to my community because I know it's going to help a lot of people. So this is Tracy Malone. You can find out more about it on Amazon. It is called My Story of Narcissistic Abuse, and it is tracking my journey through the crazy. And get started. It's all color, so it's a little bit more expensive than a regular book, but this is Amazon's fault. I tried it in black and white. It really didn't cover it, and it wasn't as easy to navigate. So again, this is Tracy Malone from Narcissist Abuse Support. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.